Is Aaron joining?
Ms. Lawrence, is staff ready?
We're waiting to see if one other planning commissioner is getting on, but I haven't heard back. So yes,
Okay.
the staff is ready. Did you hear that, Mr. May?
So we're not sure when they're joining.
I would say you can probably go ahead and start.
Okay. Good evening. I'd like to call tonight's joint public hearing order at 5:30. We will hear public comments concerning a proposed rezoning request on behalf of Muddy Creek Investments for tax map numbers 123-A-L14 and 123-A-L15A, more commonly known as 835 Mason Street in Dayton. The rezoning request is to change the zoning of said lots from R1 to B1 to allow business usage. Myself and Mr. Seward will be attending remotely from home due to a medical reason. Ms. Hall, could we please have a roll call for council and planning commission?
Yes, sir. Ms. Mathias. Ms. Estes. Mr. Walls.
Here.
Vice Mayor Dijak.
Present.
Mr. Seward attending virtually.
Here.
Heidi Hoover is absent tonight, and Mayor Jackson attending virtually.
Present. Ms. Hall, do we have anybody signed up to speak?
Let me do a roll call for Planning Commission real
Oh,
quick.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Ms. Raleigh
Present.
and now. We're going to say that he is absent for the time being. Mr. Swindle is absent. Mr. Shipley,
Present.
Mr. Dijak,
Present.
and Chairman Barnett.
Here.
All right, and Mayor Jackson, we do not have anyone signed up to speak.
All right. Does the applicant wish to speak?
No, sir.
All right.
Do or have any questions for him?
All right, here are no other comments. We'll adjourn this joint public hearing and turn it over to the planning commission for their consideration.
All right, very good. And council, you all are free to leave for a few minutes, or you can hang out during this, whatever you all would like to do. And then we'll turn it over to Chairman Barnett to call the special call meeting to order.
All right, good afternoon. I will call the special called meeting of the Dayton Planning Commission to order at 5:32. The purpose of tonight's meeting, special called meeting, is for us to consider the proposed rezoning request on behalf of Muddy Creek Investments for tax map numbers 123-A-L14 and 123-A-L15A, more commonly known as 835 Mason Street, Dayton. The rezoning request is to change the zoning of said lots from R1 to B1 to allow for business usage. Do we have any discussion? No? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion then to recommend that council approve the proposed rezoning request as presented and recommended by staff.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Second,
I'm sorry,
Colton.
Colton. thank
Colton.
you.
All in favor of motion, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. I don't know that we have any further business to discuss, correct?
Correct.
So I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Oh, second.
Second,
Just,
all in favor of adjournment, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Meeting adjourned.
for the applicant's benefit, that recommendation was made to council. They will be hearing it at the 6 o'clock meeting. But it's at the top of the agenda. That silly law.
Ms. Lawrence, is staff ready?
Yes, we're all ready. We have 2 on 1. Susan and Justin. Yes, we're ready. Thank you.
Over there. All right, good evening. It's my pleasure to call the June 13th Dayton Town Council meeting to order at 6 o'clock. I'd like to remind everyone there's a sign-up sheet at the entrance for those who are interested in speaking during tonight's meeting. Each speaker will be limited to 5 minutes and only be expecting in-person comments. Mr. Seward and I are joining via Zoom from home due to medical reasons. Could I have a roll call, Ms. Hall?
Yes, Ms. Mathias,
Present.
Ms. Estes, Mr. Walls,
Here.
Vice Mayor Diza,
Present.
Mr. Seward virtually.
Present.
Cooper is absent this evening, and Mayor Jackson also virtual.
Present. Thank you, Ms. Hall. Join me with the invocation. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to meet this evening. Lord, our nation is in pain due to the deaths caused by gun violence. Families are mourning and children are fearful to go to school. Lord, we ask that you guide our society away from violence. We ask that you protect our children, educators, first responders, and military. We pray for the people of Ukraine and ask that you comfort and protect them as well. We pray in your name. Amen.
You'll join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States,
Of America,
to the
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Dijak. All right, we got a lot to go through this evening. First item on the agenda is a resolution recognizing Silver Lake Historical District and the efforts of owner Cheryl Lyon. It truly is an honor and privilege to recognize Ms. Lyon for her longtime dedication to the Silver Lake Historic District. The time, passion, and financial resources that Ms. Lyon continues to pour into this project is nothing short of amazing. Her ability to get others to see and buy into her vision is a trait of a true leader, and Dayton is very proud to have her as a community leader. Ms. Lyon is joining us remotely this evening, but I will present her a framed copy of the resolution later this week. Whereas English American settler David Harrison owned hundreds of acres in the area in the mid-18th century, and Presbyterians built Cooks Creek Church in 1750. And whereas German Baptist brethren began moving to the Shenandoah Valley from Maryland and Pennsylvania at mid-century, arriving here by 1790. And whereas Brethren Church member John J. Rife built a dam in 1822, forming Silver Lake, and constructed a flour mill and a sawmill. And whereas this complex became the center of a prosperous industrial and agricultural community and a popular recreational site. And whereas Silver Lake Improvement, a corporation which included several prominent Dayton business owners, bought the mill and lake in 1909 and eventually granted a 100-year lease for water to the town of Dayton. And whereas Silver Lake began supplying water to Dayton and Harrisonburg in the 20th century, and whereas the 104-acre district is listed on the National Register of Historic Places, whereas Cheryl Lyon, owner of the Silver Lake Mill, has made tremendous efforts to restore the mill and take all necessary steps to have a historical marketplace at the mill and conduct a dedication ceremony on June 5th, 2022, as part of the 200th year celebration of the mill. Whereas Cheryl Lyon wishes to recognize good things in the town of the town of Dayton wishes to recognize not only good things, but also good people. Now therefore be resolved by the Town Council of Dayton, the town of Dayton, Virginia, that the town recognizes Silver Lake Historical District and the efforts of its owner, Cheryl Lyon. Thank you very much, Ms. Lyon, for all that you do for the community. And I will see you later this week to get you that signed resolution. Okay, and again, Cheryl, thank you for all that you do. May I have a motion to adopt the resolution recognizing Silver Lake Historical District and the efforts of owner Cheryl Lyon?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Dijak. Do I have a second? Do I have a second?
Emily seconded it.
Oh, thank you very much. Is her microphone on?
Who made the motion?
Mr. Dijak made the motion, Ms. Estes second. Roll call, please, Ms. Hall.
Mr. Wall,
Aye.
Ms. Estes, Ms. Mathias,
Aye.
Mr. Stewart,
Aye.
Mr. Dijak,
Enthusiastically aye.
Mayor Jackson.
Also enthusiastic aye. I like that, Bradford. Motion passes. Thank you all for doing that for her. Our first action item this evening is the consideration of a proposed rezoning request on behalf of Muddy Creek Investments for tax map 123-A-L14 and 123-A-L15A, more commonly known as 835 Mason Street, Dayton. The rezoning request is to change the zoning of said lots from R1 to B1 to allow for business usage. The public hearing in this matter was held earlier this evening, followed by a planning commission meeting. And Mr. Dyer, could you please let us know the recommendation of the planning commission?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. The planning commission unanimously recommended approval of the rezoning from R1 to B1.
Thank you very much. I need a motion to approve the rezoning request as recommended by planning commission.
Second,
Who made the motion?
Ms.
Emily.
Estes.
Okay, is her microphone not on? I can hear everybody else, I just don't hear hers.
Mine's on, but you're like muffled.
All right, so roll call, please, Ms. Hall.
All right, Mr. Seward,
Aye.
Mr. Walls. Ms. Estes. Ms. Mathias,
Aye.
Mr. Dijak,
Aye.
Mayor Jackson.
Aye. Motion passes, thank you.
And Mayor Jackson, we need to go back and do the minutes, the motion to approve the minutes from the last.
Oh,
two
thank you, I missed that, sorry. All right, I need a motion to approve the minutes for the regular council meeting on May 9th, 2022, and the budget public hearing of June 6th, 2022.
So
Is there a
moved.
motion?
So moved.
Mr.
Mr.
Dijak, thank you. Second?
Second.
Is that Susan? Ms. Mathias?
Yes.
Roll call, please, Ms. Hall.
All right,
I'll be
Mr.
coming for a
Stewart?
Haircut soon.
Aye.
Matthias?
Aye.
Ms. Esther?
Aye.
Mr. Walls?
Aye.
Mr. Dijak?
Aye.
Mayor Jackson?
Aye. Thank you for keeping us straight there, Ms. Hall.
Certainly.
Next action item is the consideration and adoption of the capital improvement program for fiscal years 2022 to 2023 to 2026 to 2027. Can I get a motion to approve the CIP as presented?
So moved.
And who was that?
Bob and
Bob.
Emily,
I'm sorry.
Mr. Walls and Miss Estes.
Okay, I got Mr. Walls. All right. Roll call, please, Ms. Hall.
It may have been Mr. Seward.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Mr.
Yeah.
Mr. Sorry, online.
All right, Mr. Stewart?
Aye.
Mr. Walls? Ms. Esther? Ms. Matthias?
Aye.
Mr. Dijak?
Aye.
Mayor Jackson?
Aye. Motion passes. All right, so the next action item is going to combine C and D on the agenda, and it's the consideration of the ordinance adopting the fiscal year 2022-2023 budget, setting tax rates, and appropriating funds for the town of Dayton. I'm going to just read off the 4 bullets of that, just so it's in public record. The budget is hereby adopted and approved in a total amount of $6,063,200 and is set forth in more detail in Exhibit A of the agenda packet. The monies described in the budget are appropriated in the total amount of $6,063,200 for the uses and purposes generally outlined in the budget. Such authorized uses and purposes may include, but shall not be required to include, the payment of monetary bonuses to town employees within the amounts budgeted and other further consultation with the town council. The treasurer is further authorized to transfer from the water and sewer funds to the general and capital funds, such funds as necessary and within the amounts budgeted. All tax rates for the calendar year 2022 are unchanged from those rates previously set for calendar year 2021. The real estate tax rate for calendar year 2022 shall continue to be 8 cents for each $100 of assessed value as of January 1st, 2022. The monthly refuse collection fees for residential and commercial refuse during fiscal year 2022 to 2023 shall be $18 per month. All other fees imposed by the town shall continue without change in full force and effect until further action by the town council. Can I get a motion to adopt the ordinance as presented?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Dijak. Can I have a second?
There we go.
Roll call, please, Ms. Hall.
All right, Mr. Stewart?
Aye.
Matthias?
Aye.
Mr. Wall?
Aye.
Ms. Esther? Mr. Dijak?
Aye.
Mayor Jackson?
Aye, motion passes. Thank you. The next action item is one of those things that comes down from the General Assembly, which is what we are have from time to time. It's consideration of an amendment to town code ordinance to adopt newly passed General Assembly actions. Can I get a motion to adopt the ordinance as presented?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Dijak. Second,
Second.
was that Ms. Matthias?
Oh,
And Mr.
actually-
Mayor, if I may, in reviewing the packet in preparation for the meeting, I noted a minor typographic error that I wanted to correct in the ordinance.
Okay, sir.
I want to point that out to council. In paragraph 2, where the bold text begins, in the copy of the ordinance you have in your packets, there's a number 6, a hyphen, and a number 9. That's a vestige of our old town code. You will recall that we recodified our code several months ago. And that 6-9 needs to be updated to 26-120. And other than that, there's no change. That's not a very substantive change. But I did want to note it, and perhaps if y'all are all right, you adopt the ordinance as corrected.
Thank you very much, sir.
I'll-
So
I'll-
can I get a motion to adopt the ordinance as corrected, please?
I'll accept that as a friendly amendment.
Thank you, sir. And do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please, Ms. Hall.
Ms. Estes. Stewart.
Robert.
Oh, aye. I couldn't hear you.
Mr. Walls. Ms. Matthias,
Aye.
Mr. Dijak,
Aye.
Mayor Jackson.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you very much. All right, the final action items are going to be long because it's all of our appointments. Each appointment will need a separate motion. So we'll start with the motion to reappoint Hunter Barnett to Planning Commission for a term to expire June 30th, 2026.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Dijak. Do I have a second?
Second.
Oh, Miss Estes.
Oh,
We can't hear her on Zoom. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much. Next is a motion to recommend to Circuit Court of Rockingham County that Colby Miller be reappointed to the Town of Dayton Board of Zoning Appeals for a term to expire June 30th, 2027.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Estes. Do I have a second?
Second.
Was that Mr. Walls?
Yes.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
If it's all right, if we could go back and perhaps maybe do the last one and this one both by roll call. There are special rules that are required when we have folks that are meeting electronically. And one of those rules is that we really should do all those by a roll call.
Okay.
Which is not our standard practice when folks are here in person, but I think just so that the record's clear about how everyone voted.
All right, that'll be fine. So we'll go back to the motion to reappoint Hunter Barnett to Planning Commission for a term to expire June 30th, 2026. Do I have a second?
Yeah, I think we
you
had
still
a-
have
We
that.
already
Still
did
saying
that.
we just do a
need
roll call.
So we're okay with everything else? Okay, so just roll call, please, Ms. Hall.
All right, Mr. Walls,
Aye.
Ms. Estes,
Aye.
Ms. Matthias,
Aye.
Mr. Seward,
Aye.
Mr. Dijak,
Aye.
Mayor Jackson.
Aye. And the same thing for the motion to recommend to Circuit Court, Rockingham County, that Colby Miller be reappointed. Can we do a roll call for that?
All right, Ms. Estes,
Aye.
Mr. Seward,
Aye.
Ms. Matthias,
Aye.
Mr. Walls,
Aye.
Mr. Dijak,
Aye.
Mayor Jackson.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. Next is a motion to reappoint James Palladino to the Economic Development Authority for a term to expire July 10th, 2026.
So moved.
Ms.
Second.
Estes, thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
I'm sorry, is that Ms. Matthias?
Yeah.
Okay. Any discussion? Roll call, please, Ms. Hall.
Mr. Seward,
Aye.
Matthias,
Aye.
Mr. Walls,
Aye.
Ms. Estes,
Aye.
Mr. Dijak,
Aye.
Mayor Jackson.
Aye. Motion passes. And finally, I need a motion to reappoint Angela A. Lawrence as a member and Adam Meek as alternate member of the Harrisonburg-Rockingham Regional Sewer Authority, both to serve 4-year terms.
Aye. I mean,
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Matthias. Do I have a second?
how's
And we
everything?
got a second, so
Ms. Estes, is there any discussion?
further than me than roll call.
Any discussion?
I don't even have the COVID fall.
That's good. You're just.
Roll call, please, Ms. Hall.
Over for the
All right,
third
Mr.
time. That's
Dijak.
all I
Aye.
gotta say.
Mr. Seward,
Aye.
Ms. Matthias,
Aye.
Ms. Estes,
Aye.
Mr. Walls,
Aye.
Mayor Jackson.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. All right, now we'll go into staff reports, starting with Ms. Lawrence.
All right, thank you very much. My microphone over here. My staff report is on page 32. There are a couple items for discussion or consideration, but before I do that, I'll go over the capital projects a little bit. Police vehicle, the new one you haven't seen driving around yet because we're still waiting on the decals, and lights and a few things, but it'll be up and running. The rail project, I'm assured will be done at the Greenway by the end of June. The sidewalks will not be done until August on College Street, where we will not touch anybody's fence. The mowers that we need are in and will be received this week. The key card system, drum roll please, is the door plates have been put in, the cables have been put in. We're just waiting for the actual equipment. So the key card system for the doors will be working hopefully by the next month, next meeting. The generator over by the lake is installed and will get fenced soon, very soon. And we're still waiting for one other truck. That brings me to an item for consideration that is not on my report, but I want to ask council to consider it anyway. In front of you, you have a list of 2 pages of equipment that we have determined as surplus equipment, either because it's old and non-functioning or because it's being replaced because it's old or non-functioning. So the list is the 1989 Chevrolet dump truck. We still have one, but this is one that we're not using that we'd like to sell online. And I'll go over that policy in a minute. We have the old street sweeper, the real small model that hasn't worked for years. We have taken possession of the one that we bought from Bridgewater. So we'd like to go ahead and sell that one. Again, it hasn't worked for a long time. The 2006 Dodge Dakota can be sold once the new service truck is received, which will be, better be by the end of June. And then we have a 2008 Ford 250, F-250, which will be replaced by the truck that we did receive this month. We are gonna sell that. We'll go ahead and list it online. We're in the process of getting a bed liner installed in the new truck before I let them use it. The 2002 Dodge Ram needs to be replaced. We have budgeted for a new truck. We're not going to sell that obviously until we get a new truck, but as long as you're looking at surplus, I'd like you to consider that. And then we're going to trade in the 2002 Ventrac mower. That'd be a 20-year-old mower with the purchase of the new mowers that we're getting. And then finally, there are 7 rifles from the police department. You did approve in the budget, and we talked about it at the budget work session that we'll get new rifles. The ones that we currently have in our possession cannot be sold to the public. They can be dismantled and we would get very little money for it, or we can sell it to each of the officers. They can buy their own gun back at $800. So that's what we talked about, and I believe council was good with that. So what I would like is the council to, oh, I'm sorry, our procurement policy says that each department shall submit to the town manager showing inventory for supplies and equipment which are no longer used or which have become obsolete, worn out, or scrapped. The town manager shall present a list of surplus property to council for approval. And then the town manager shall sell or otherwise dispose all items declared surplus by council, including online auctions, competitive bid, seal bid, third-party auctions, or other methods or exchange for the same trade-in on the same new supplies or equipment. So that's a policy. So I'd like a motion to approve these items as being for disposal, declared surplus by you all. Sorry. Motion to declare these items as presented as surplus and allowing me to either trade them in, sell them to the officer, or sell them online, which is how we've been selling our vehicles lately.
All right, let me take a shot at this, and Jordan, let me know if we got it right. Need a motion to dispose of surplus vehicles or materials. I guess will that cover the firearms?
Yes.
Okay, that are no longer being used by the town to be sold in compliance with our financial policies.
So moved.
Do I have a second? Thank you, Ms. Estes. That motion passes.
All right, we haven't voted.
We need a roll call. How about a roll call?
Sorry, it's Mr. Walsh.
Aye.
Ms. Estes,
Aye.
Ms. Mathias,
Aye.
Mr. Stewart,
Aye.
Mr. Dykoff,
Aye.
Mayor Jackson.
Aye. Now the motion passes. All right, you may continue, Ms. Lawrence.
Before I go to the other items for consideration, I had asked Ms. Hall to pull up our webcam while I was talking about capital projects, and then I skipped right over it. We do have a webcam staff. Jennifer and I have access to it at all times. We can see what's out there, as can the contractors. Obviously, they have a lot of expensive equipment and supplies and pipes there, so they keep an eye on it. We have photos from all different angles at the water plant, but thought that you guys would like to see that in fact we are making progress. They're moving dirt. They have put in pipe that you can't really see there. There's some pipe, which you still can't see. But there is some pipe going in, and the building, we have selected several items, and items have been ordered for the building, so you'll start to see some real stuff going up here pretty soon. Just thought that you'd be interested in that. All right, moving forward with the other items for discussion or consideration. On the bottom of page 32. Last month, I talked to you about the police department receiving a grant for radios and told you I would come back with a budget adjustment. It turns out that's really the only thing that really needed to be adjusted in the budget. So instead of adjusting the full budget, I would ask council to move to accept the police grant, which is an amount of $18,750 from the Department of Criminal Justice Services, and to appropriate that funding for the use of the purchase of radios and equipment.
All right, so I need a motion to accept the police department grant in the amount of $18,750 for the purchase of police radios and appropriate the funds.
Mr. Dijak
So
made that
moved.
motion. And Mr. Waltz.
All right, do we have any discussion? Roll call, please, Ms. Hall.
Mr. Stewart,
Aye.
Mr. Walsh.
Aye.
Ms. Estes, Ms. Mathias,
Aye.
Mr. Dykoff,
Aye.
Mayor Jackson.
Aye, motion passes. Thank you.
And then the final item for discussion or consideration is that, as you may recall, a couple of years ago, we further divided out the capital funds. So we have a 10 fund, which is a general fund. That money at the end of June 30th goes away. We start all over with a new budget, but the 15 fund is the general capital fund. And then we have the water fund, which is a 20. Again, that goes away at the end of the year. But we have a capital fund for water sewer, which is the 25 fund. We are asking that at the end of June, at the end of the fiscal year, which is June 30th, that all unspent capital project funds, 25 fund projects in the capital funds, be able to roll over, and that we carry over those funds. This is standard practice because capital projects take longer than operating expenses. And we've talked to the
Are they rolled over and kept in the same? Like if something's rolling over from this, it's that money's still for that specific project. You aren't changing the projects that the money was put aside for.
So that's a good question, and thank you. The money for the most part stays in the same project. So we had budgeted 25 and 25, 50 altogether for parks, and that would stay there. Or maybe a little bit of money here and there, overage in the capital fund, for instance. The key card system, we budgeted 20,000 in capital, and that would be, come in at about 22,000, I think, or 21 something. So what we would do is carry everything over and disperse it that way.
So it stays in the capital fund.
It all stays in either the 15 fund for the general capital or the 25 for the other.
Makes sense.
And we will update the balance, that first column of the CIP, as soon as the end of the year is over, so that you know what the balance was from this fiscal year. And that'll be added for next year when we do the CIP again. Does that sound okay to you, Jordan? Everything? Okay. So did we have a motion to carry over all unspent capital projects from the 15 and 25 funds that are remaining on June 30th?
So we need a motion to carry over all unspent capital project funds, 15 and 25 funds remaining on June 30th, 2022.
We had one from
Ms.
Ms. Estes.
Estes made that motion.
Oh,
Second,
okay,
Ms.
Second.
Estes and Ms. Matthias.
all right. Any discussion? Roll call, please, Ms. Hall.
Aye.
Mr. Law. Mr. Stewart.
Aye.
Mr. Gaga.
Aye.
Ms. Estes. Mayor Jackson.
Aye. Motion passes.
Are there any other questions on my report I should have asked?
Thank you, Ms. Lawrence. Now we'll go to Ms. Smith, who is also joining us via Zoom for the treasurer's report.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The only additional thing that I have to add to my staff report, which is on page 34 of the packet, the letter regarding the upcoming audit from the auditors has been placed, hopefully at your places there in council chambers or in your mailboxes for you to take a look at. Other than that, I don't have anything else to add.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Chief Trout.
Susan's fine. She's just staying away.
She's smart.
Thanks.
Chief Trout via Zoom.
Judy, I know.
Good evening, council, Mr. Mayor. You all have my report in front of you. I'll answer any questions you have. The only thing I'll point out is next month we have National Night Out, August 2nd, and then the Muddler's coming up August 6th.
That'd be in
Thank
2
you.
months, but okay.
Yeah, that's what I meant. You
We're
can't
good.
advertise too soon.
This hybrid meeting is going along.
Marketing group. Anything else for Chief Trout?
Chief, I just say congrats on breaking in Officer Shiplet. There you go.
Yeah,
Good.
I think we'll keep them.
All right, good deal. If not, just lend them over to planning commission. All right.
All right, we'll go back to Ms. Lawrence for Public Works.
All right, that report is on page 37. Oh, look, we have a new graphic this month. Are there any questions on the Public Works? If not, we'll move right over to the Water Department. That is on page 38. Any questions on that? I've shown you the highlights. We're moving along with the new plant. Yes. Oh. I don't know. Her water droplet? We'll get you a droplet or a faucet or something next. All right. Truth be told, she probably is the one who put the graphic in Adams too, unless Krista did.
right.
Okay. You want me to go to community? Oh, I'm gonna do community development since Krista's occupied doing a whole lot of stuff tonight. Her report is on page 39. Are there any, she's had a busy time of it. And you guys will be seeing probably some projects coming forward in the coming weeks. But are there any questions on her May report?
It's a full page of activity.
She's got a lot going on. And then economic development begins on page 40. I'll put a plug in that we have a concert coming up this Saturday. It is Morgan Dean, who apparently was on American Idol until I watched a lot of reality TV. But it should be a good one. The first concert went really well and we're hoping for a good crowd. We are going to have a film crew in town this Saturday. Doing the first part of the promotional video that we're doing, the 30-second video. They're going to come back on Dayton days and do some more. They are not going inside a lot of places, a couple of places, and they have their whole agenda. We are still looking for a couple of people perhaps to that are willing to be in shots. And you can contact Maggie if you know anybody, an older couple, a young family, that kind of thing. And they are filming Saturday because they're also going to get some shots of the concert. Any questions on that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I
Good
should.
news, right?
Oh, yeah. Did you want to mention that in
Oh,
yours?
please go. Shoot with the news.
So we did hear back about the downtown revitalization grant, and we have gotten preliminary approval to go ahead and do the preliminary planning phase. So they have reserved $5,000 for us, and we have to submit some paperwork and do some preliminary meetings. So you'll be hearing from us for some community meetings. Once we have until I think the end of September to meet all of those requirements. Once we have and they're satisfied, then they can grant us the $50,000 to do the downtown revitalization planning grant. That's just a planning grant, of course. Yeah, and then from that, and I think I mentioned last time, the planning grant is going to go a little further outside than downtown. While we have an engineer doing the planning and somebody's paying for it, they will pay for us to look at some gateway projects, some maybe Cargill related aesthetic projects. Maybe the connection from downtown to the market so people can get one to the other, other than getting in their car. So they will consider those for the planning. Those would not be funded by the downtown revitalization implementation grant, but we could identify sources in the meantime for that. So yay, that we just got word on that on Friday. And we will meet with the Planning District Commission early next week to go over the next stages on that.
And I was gonna leave that for Mr. Dijek's report.
I know, but he just told me I had good news. So,
He
and I
gave
never
it
saw
away.
the letters. There was that. All right.
All right, Mr. Bowman,
I have nothing to report.
thank you very much, sir. Now we're moving to committee reports, starting with Mr. Dijak.
Sir, Mr. Mayor. Very good. Well, that is great news that Ms. Lawrence has shared, and looking forward to implementing that. I know Mr. Tice and I are excited about that, and as I think everyone should be. And thank you to Ms. Lawrence and Maggie for really getting that together. And we'll be looking forward to working with our partners in downtown and their and surrounds. I did want to take just a moment to, as we recognize Silver Lake Mill, I did also want to recognize and say congratulations to Dayton Market and to Mole Hill Bikes, who are both celebrating their 35th anniversary. And so I know Mole Hills actually has an event kicking off right now. And Dayton Market, I was fortunate to stand in for the mayor and Miss Lawrence over the weekend and attend that festivity and cake cutting. So I got to run, about 100 pieces of cake around the market to starving kids and seniors alike. So everyone likes a cake.
I don't remember getting any for people in isolation. Do you, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, you're right. That's right. No, that's okay. Mask was on. My mask was on, but yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, but it was a very festive event, and it's really these are the cornerstones of what makes small town living and Dayton really special. So it's hard to imagine the town without either of those great businesses. So we'll hopefully maybe schedule something here over the summer to recognize them as well. And but it was great fun at the market, and looking forward to getting a continued celebration for Mole Hill. As far as committee event activities are concerned, we did meet. Yes, was that last week or a week ago? Whenever it was. Yeah, whatever. It was the Friday before last. So we did have a good, I think, productive meeting. Did a Red Bud recap. and debrief, and then discussion on Dayton Days, and talked a little bit about the wayfinding project and kiosks. And then the other main thing I'd note is we've got coming up another exciting opportunity that that again, the town's been working with, actually in collaboration with Bridgewater and the Small Business Development Center, and that's the STAMP project, which is small towns and, oh gosh, I forgot the acronym already, but there you go. But we'll call it STAMP project through SBDC, and that workshop is actually going to be held a joint venture between town and Bridgewater. So June 28th at 9 o'clock, we'll have a workshop at the Bridgewater Community Center. And then individual workshops for individual businesses will be taken, and they'll have a reservation system set up here shortly. So we definitely encourage everyone out in the business community. Again, this is for all businesses of all types. Any small business is welcome to participate free of charge. This is a joint venture between the town, Bridgewater, and SBDC to try to make sure that our businesses are represented and get some one-on-one counseling and talk about some ideas that might benefit each of them. So let's spread the word on that. And that's exciting news to take into account. So there you go. A lot of excitement here. Did I capture everything, guys?
I think so. That's what I remember.
And then you can stay right there and talk about finance. Not that we haven't talked about finance for the last couple months.
Yeah, I think we hit the home stretch. I'll just remark there. I do want to say it's exciting now that we can breathe a sigh of relief that the budget's adopted. Unfortunately, that means for Ms. Smith and Ms. Lawrence, they go right into the audit. So there you go, exciting times. But I did want to take the opportunity again, thank everyone on council and staff for the budget season and the mayor for joining me here on the finance committee. We are really fortunate to have dedicated and professional staff to prepare the budget and CIP. And a special thanks to Ms. Lawrence and Ms. Smith for going above and beyond and many countless late hours of revising and forecasting, and for the department heads for really giving us some really good tools to work with and some great ideas to put forward. So we should be proud of the transparent and participatory process that we prepared this balanced budget that's really reflects the two priorities that we keep hearing from residents, which is fund infrastructure and fund quality of life enhancements. And I think we've all come together to do that. So credit to staff and to council and plan commission and everyone who made this possible. So that's all I'll say on that. And thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dodge. Now we'll head over to Mr. Seward for infrastructure.
Mine is very easy, nothing to report, but very glad that Waco is turning some dirt. So
That is for sure. All right. And how about Parks, Recreation, Beautification, Mr. Seward?
we did have a meeting on the 2nd and went through the comprehensive plan for the parks and just getting started. So more to come.
Thanks, sir. And Ms. Mathias, personnel.
Yes, we did meet on May the 24th, and we specifically met just to discuss what our current policy is for tuition reimbursement for staff. We don't have any recommendations at this time, but we did discuss some different options, and if we have any recommendations later, we'll bring them to council.
Thank you, Ms. Mathias. All right, and Ms. Hoover's not with us this evening, so I will, the police committee did not meet, but as Mr. Dijak was saying, talking about infrastructure and quality of life, another thing that citizens have always marked high is important to them is police. And, just over the last 2 years, we've invested in new vehicles, radios, tasers, rifles, new sidearms, and additional officer and body cam. So we have certainly invested in the Dayton Police Department in the last 2 years and look forward to continuing that in the future. Does any other council members have any comments this evening?
I have a comment about the video at the farmer's market. I enjoy it. I never got to see it before it was finished and put in there. But we had all discussed multiple times, I've brought up that it needs to focus more on downtown instead of the building that they're currently already in. And I watched the video and it's beautiful. You've got 3 pages dedicated to the actual farmer's market with photographs of an example of something that they have in their store. But then when it comes to the downtown stores, it's literally in type, no pictures, no nothing. Now, these people are currently in the farmer's market, and I just feel that we need to, I'm not saying remove them, but we need to add more for the downtown businesses like Diane's and Thomas House, and just being mentioned on it without having photographs of it. It's just, if you're going to have something that we gave them for free to advertise to help get people from there to go downtown, you need to have more than just a list of possible stores that might be downtown, when there's literally pictures of every store in the market. That's beautiful. The page for Silver Lake Mill has 3 photographs on it. It's stunning. The one for Fort Harrison, it's a lovely picture of the house. My issue is just to show the downtown stores, being that they've had to remove their signs from 42. The directional signs aren't going to be mentioned in any of the businesses, right? So we just need to maybe add pictures and let these people know what's actually downtown, because they can walk around the farmer's market. They can make a stationary one on the wall with, hey, this store's this way, this is what we sell here, this, that. But it's literally 3 huge sections of just what's in the market. And it's, I mean, I have it on my phone. It's 1 page of what's for the town. So I'm just a little concerned that it seems that it's always we put more effort in the Silver Lake Mill and Rocktown in the farmer's market, but not really as far as for downtown. So I just would like to add, if we're gonna have, you know, photographs with everything that's, they already can see in the farmer's market, this is what we have for downtown. And that was the whole purpose of putting that in there. They don't need help walking around to, I mean, that's it for downtown. And everything else has beautiful photographs. So I was just hoping that we could switch it and add photographs, because Sam's store, the outside of Sam's store is stunning. That'd be a great photograph. But I just feel we're advertising more for the farmer's market when they're already in there. They don't need help to walk around the building that they're already in. That's just a concern that I've brought up multiple times. We've all agreed on it. We were all told, yeah, it's going to focus on downtown and the stuff in the area, and it just didn't happen. And I didn't even get it, so I wasn't allowed to see it. So.
I don't recall any discussions with council or committees about what would be in the
Oh, I mean-
slideshow. It is a PowerPoint slideshow, so it can be changed easily.
There was
from
multiple
anytime.
discussions where
I
I
was gonna say, if you-
brought up that it needed to focus
if you-
in the
I was just
business
gonna
meetings
say,
and
I
in
think
here.
this-
It's not a problem. What
Right.
you've done
No,
is
that's-
beautiful.
Yeah, I think Ms.
I'm
Lawrence
just
was
saying,
gonna
if you have
respond.
3 pages
Yeah.
of stuff for the market with
Yeah.
photographs, you need to do the same thing for
Well,
downtown, because
think
they
it's-
lost their signs on
Right.
42. We can't have a digital.
And I would just say, I
sign.
think Ms. Lawrence just had a update on that, and we can change those slides
Yeah,
out pretty
it's
easily.
just a PowerPoint slideshow that runs,
Yeah,
and there's
it's
a
easy to
few
use.
quirks to work out on it anyway. The idea was to put the events, which we have events up there where we can find out who's doing what. So we have all of our summer concerts and events like that up
Yeah, I
there.
saw that, and there's a
Um,
cute little map page and all that.
right.
That's cute. I'm just saying, add photographs and show respect for the businesses downtown that are
Oh, yeah,
Sure.
not on 42, because they don't need help getting to 42. We all know to go to the farmer's market.
Right. And
It's just show respect, the same level of
Yeah.
exact respect for these downtown businesses as we do for
Yep.
the
And
middle
I
and
think
Rocktown and the.
to that
farmer's
end, is
market.
it, Ms. Lawrence, if I'm not mistaken,
It's
part
just
of the,
vast
the
advertising.
video that's being made that they're gonna be filming, over on Saturday and throughout, that's gonna focus heavily there on downtown and Main Street as well, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah, and I mean, people like it. I was sitting there watching, I watched this family just sat, boy, they were there forever, just
Yeah.
enjoying it. And
Yeah.
it's a beautiful thing. The video's great. We
Yeah,
just
so
need
there
to
are
add
slides that
pictures
say-
For the businesses.
Yeah.
Diane's got a beautiful restaurant, so does Thomas House. I mean, if Silver, like Silver Lake, come on, man, we didn't even own them for a while. When they get their business license, they've just joined us recently, correct?
So
No,
how did
sure.
it- How did the pictures get submitted?
I can't answer that, but I'll check with Maggie. I know, obviously, we have trouble getting some submissions, even with our
I'll go
business
around
director
to
and
get 'em
stuff.
For you.
We do have several pages that just say Dine in Dayton, and it's not market specific or downtown specific. It
Mhm.
includes Grammys and Braithwaite's and the
Yeah, I got
downtown
that
and
one
all
here
of that
too.
stuff. So
With
we
their
did-
ads, it's
If-
nice.
I was just gonna say,
But it's
maybe
just
if
in
we could
type.
if we could just let Miss Lawrence respond there, because I think she's got some good ideas and information on.
I
updating
will
that.
forward that information on to the appropriate staff. But we were trying to categorize things so that people saw that there were other places to eat other than where they were right then and things to do. I'm happy to send a digital copy to everybody for what we have. It can be changed.
Yeah.
Any
Yeah,
feedback?
I was just, letting you know, but let me know too, just because I'm not on their committees, I like. to do it for me.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say,
No,
fair to
as far as I know,
we
no-
didn't-
See it.
no
Y'all
committee-
talked About it.
No,
and
we didn't
talked about
actually.
Videos being finished and I never saw it, so. I
No,
just-
no, it's not a video. It's a changing
Whatever,
PowerPoint
we
presentation.
talked about
It didn't go to
and I just never
committee.
saw it.
It just, if
When I was at
Miss
the-
Estes, just real quick, Miss Lawrence was just offering clarification. It did not, right, that was something that went to the TV. That did not go through committee. But the other item we just approved was just to work on a video, which is not finished, but that will feed, and that's what's going to be filmed this Saturday, and that'll be,
No, I
that'll
understand
feature a
that,
lot.
Kurt, I don't
Oh,
need
yeah,
to
yeah, but that's what I'm
explain.
saying. That's
just
gonna be
saying that
one
the Video that we've got. on
that
the
will-
Computer needs to be changed. Simple.
Absolutely. I
That's
think
simple.
we'll-
I will forward that information on
Thank
and
you.
we will do what we can. I don't recall.
I'll go get photographs for you.
We can get photographs.
I think it'll be taken care
We
of.
do,
easily. Yeah,
we do
let's-
have the map, which
Yeah, it
was
can take but 2 seconds.
really the
I can
point.
make-
The
make
only
it go
thing
on
that
the
we-
computer.
the only thing that
I
we.
think we've covered this. Lawrence, I think we've covered this.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
We- All right, we have no unfinished business to discuss. Do we have any new business to discuss? All right, do we have anybody signed up for public comments?
Yes, Ms. Crank has signed up.
Okay, we haven't seen you in a couple months.
It's only been one and it was, I'm so sorry, I thought it was the 15th or whatever, which by then I was.
That's all.
Let me get your mic.
Oh, yeah, we don't.
Did you hear me?
Here, do you
Hello, can you hear me, Mayor Jackson?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Oh, there you go.
okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Deb Crank and I live on 63 College Street. And to tell on to, and not to spend a whole lot of time, I did bring it up at one of the council meetings that we needed to include the downtown, and I had talked to the market, and they had said they were gonna include more picture booths. So I appreciate an update to that, because the market was very much kind of the same thing that Emily had said, you're already at the market, so we need to advertise a lot of things. So I thank you for that, and so I'm speaking tonight, the merchants are still actively meeting, and we do have several events coming up in the next couple of months and at the year end, and so more to come on that. And then lastly, and I'm gonna get killed for this, there's a very special person's birthday tonight. And I think we need to all sing happy birthday.
No, we really don't, because then we can get out immediately.
Well, I know. So 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Emily.
I didn't know who it was. Birthday to you.
There you go.
Thank y'all. See how that was easy.
There you go.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, this is, I am looking forward to Angela. She's got
Do we
this
have any other public comments?
That's
Are there
it.
any no others?
That's it, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Dijak can join us.
All right, now, the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
There you go. All right.
Go, man.
Thank you, sir. Still under an hour.
Thank you. Have a great night.
All right, take care, Robert. Take care, Gary.
And all in favor?
Everybody in favor, say aye.
I got a big city.
Aye.
Once a year by
Anybody opposed? No, nobody's opposed. I think if we all leave, it pretty much spoke for itself, didn't it?